To all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits.
I don't really want to say too much here because I truly don't have to say too much. And I don't like to spend, a whole lot of time on the internet directly going at, in a very dramatic way, other creators. It's like the purpose of my platform for the most part, even though I do like to kind of shit on right wingers and, total pieces of garbage on the internet who I think make the music community worse. When it comes to like the broad content creator sphere, unless somebody's like, just being completely wrong-headed about some music or talking about me or just being like a real fucking idiot, I like to keep mostly quiet and just like kind of chill. And I don't pay attention to a whole lot of streamers to begin with, across the board. But I feel like what just happened here needs to be discussed because it's a very broad issue that affects all content creation across the internet. But what seems to have happened, thankfully, is Denims. I stream, but I don't consider myself like, a hardcore streamer, but I'll say fellow streamer Denims just got a tentative ruling in the lawsuit leveled against her by Ethan Klein. Of the H3H3 podcast. Now, I don't want to spend, this little rant here and this talk kind of getting into the nitty gritty of the content nuke and Ethan's psychosexual obsession with Hassan and iDubbbz and Anissa and a host of other things about the whole situation I just particularly find weird. Are there elements of these dynamics that Ethan genuinely feels like, burned about and pissed off about? Like maybe, possibly, I feel like I don't know enough about these interpersonal relationships, again, on a personal level, to really comment on that front. What pisses me off about the whole thing and what makes this tentative ruling in Denims' favor about all of this, what makes me happy about this with joy is like, look, no matter what problem you have with any of these people, personally or politically, whatever, you cannot be using this as an opportunity to destroy internet content creation and reaction content, commentary content. I don't care how up your own ass you are. I don't care how psycho you are. I don't care how demented or mentally ill you are. You cannot be using your millions of dollars and you cannot be using your platform to sue and go after other creators simply for the sin of reacting to your content, good or not, and having their own thoughts and opinions about it that you don't like. There are lots of people who comment on and talk about my content. Are there situations in which I would maybe take legal action if those comments happen to come from a defamatory place and it was like all and out, like complete lies or whatever? I mean, sure, but that's a different thing than going after somebody just merely for reacting to your content and making the claim that it was stealing. Making the claim that this person is stealing from you by reacting to your content. Bro, that is literally how you got started on the internet, dude. You literally had your own fair use lawsuit about this same shit.
The undisputed purpose of the defendant's live stream is to contest, criticize, and mock the plaintiff's message, which the courts have found weighs in favor of fair use due to its transformative nature. And they even proceed to cite Ethan Klein's case.
I feel bad and I regret ever having platformed you and had you on my own channel on a podcast and pushed people in your direction because you turned around and ended up doing this. And again, I'm not even talking about whatever sort of like political or ideological sort of, disagreements you may have with these individuals or that I may have with you. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about you're literally using your platform and literally using these petty disagreements, your own emotions that you're so tied up in this situation to destroy the very industry that we all operate within because you're mad that you're getting criticized. Are some of those criticisms unfair? And are they coming from like weird terminally online psychos that are on Reddit it or this platform or that platform. Yeah, I'm sure some of them are. I deal with those types of people too all the time. But to be going after other streamers for commenting on your content, and if this lawsuit ended up going in Ethan Klein's favor, effectively would have destroyed the business model of anybody and everybody doing this same exact thing, reacting to other content, commenting on other content, transformatively critiquing and pulling apart other content that would have created such an ugly, horrible, just destructive, slippery slope. And you did it over some bullshit. You did it over some stupid, mindless, petty, emotional, moronic bullshit is literally all you did it for. You didn't do it for any other reason other than some petty, stupid bullshit. And I'm glad that Denims had it rule in her favor, not only because, I like and respect Denims as a streamer, but this would have been bad for everybody making content on the internet if this had ruled in Ethan's favor. So I'm just coming on here and just celebrating this W, not for anyone's sake other than all of us, because if you like this stream, if you like the content of any person on the internet where they are reacting to a video or talking about somebody else's video or talking about some other piece of content somebody made and incorporated clips or incorporated a snippet here, a section there, or, reacting to a full video on a stream, it would have been fucking donezo. It would have been donezo. Like, it would have set legal precedent that would have allowed any other content creator to go after a streamer, go after a YouTuber monetarily, have this video, that video, this other thing pulled down, taken down. And look, we're already dealing with a litany of that every week when it comes to movies and music and these massive corporations that like throw their weight around online and make it difficult to pull apart any content coming out of the mainstream these days. We don't need to be doing it from content creator to content creator. It's complete bullshit. So look, if you consume any content like this, you enjoy any content like this, you need to be aware of this lawsuit. You need to be aware of this ruling, and you need to be sharing it, and you need to be celebrating it, because we really did genuinely I feel like if you had two brain cells to rub together and, you already saw sort of like previous, rulings in regards to fair use law, as long as Denims was willing to sort of put up the legal fight, chances were it wasn't going to go in Ethan's favor. But there were two other people who we pressured here legally who were not able to withstand the prolonged fees and all of that shit, who, I feel very bad and I feel very sorry for. Ethan was happy to sort of harass legally out of house and home almost, because it became so expensive to continue fighting him with lawyers. And I've been in this situation recently too. I mean, not over a, copyright thing, with that douchebag, Ronnie Radke. I spent tens of thousands of dollars to get that W, only to get paid, my legal fees, but it was I still ended up spending more money in the long run on all that. It was still a complete fucking waste of my time. Was, stressful to at least some degree. Obviously not as stressful as it was, I'm sure, for the loser who lost. So, I mean, I've been in these situations before, and I know how scary and weird and freaky it can be to have a complete psychopath and weirdo going after you with these seedy, shitty, no moral having, garbage, ambulance chasing, shithead lawyer freaks who will literally agree to do anything so long as you pay them to do it. I know that feeling, and it's not very good. And I absolutely, commend Denims for, putting up the legal fight that she needed to in order to get this ruling and get this to where it needed to be, because, Denims deserves really, truly some accolades for doing this, because, her withstanding this and bringing it to this point and defending herself inadvertently, secondarily is really a public service to all of this, because had this ruling gone in Ethan Klein's favor, or had she folded and allowed Ethan to run roughshod over her just for reacting to the content nuke that he did, this would have meant that, again, it would be more difficult for other content creators to do this sort of thing. to do exactly what I'm doing, to do exactly the sort of content that I'm sure you guys react to other creators do on the internet, other creators doing, whether they're talking about politics, whether they're talking about movies, whether they're talking about whatever piece of content they're pulling apart or commentating on. Yeah, poor Casey Tron had to do a hostage video apology toward Ethan like she was being held at gunpoint on the internet, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, shout out to the Anthony Fantano in San Diego. Yeah, no, H3 weaponizing the copyright system because of political reasons is fucking pathetic. Again, we came so close to like shit being completely burned to the ground because this moron had to take something that is so vital to all of our content and burn it all down and essentially say like, well, I'm taking my ball and going home because you made a piece of content talking about my content that I don't like. Fuck you. Again, shout out to Denims, and I'm glad that it blew up in Ethan's face and that everybody got to witness it. And really, like, 15K likes and 600 retweets on this is shockingly low. Like, there should be way more people openly celebrating this because we really truly did just like dodge a fucking bullet. And the precedent that Ethan's last lawsuit along fair use lines, the precedent that set, he literally just tried to burn it to the ground over some personal petty shit, which is just, again, ridiculous. And it's crazy to sort of like see the contrast between then and now in terms of like this man's public perception and optics. Like when he originally won that last lawsuit, he was a hero to the internet because he allowed for there to be sort of this like, open and normalized discussion and engagement with, sort of transformative content creation and reacting to other things online that has become the standard. And now you're trying to rip it away from everybody because you're pissed off over some personal shit. I'm sorry, but it's just stupid as fuck. So shout out to Denims. If you are, still on the Bird app, as satanic and as awful as it is, I do recommend that you go on here and give her some congratulations and share this if you can, because I do feel like more people need to be aware of, how big of a W this is for the internet and everybody.